Hi everyone, it's Stacy. Thank you for coming on this yoga leap with me. Welcome to everyone who's been practicing with me over the last couple of years through these videos, and welcome to anyone new who's finding the videos for the first time. I hope you're ready to move a little bit, challenge ourselves with some balances and a few twists just to sort of try and loosen up through the core and the back and the spine a bit. I feel like we haven't done that in a while. So let's get started. You can see I've got my chair there. So as usual, I will move between the chair and the floor or the mat. So if you are waiting for me to demonstrate something in the chair or on the mat, just take a few extra breaths in whatever pose you're in or in any comfortable pose, and I'm sure I'll catch up with you soon. But I do like to try and demonstrate as much as possible between the two. Other than that, I don't really use any props. If you have props you like to practice with, by all means, go ahead and grab them. That can be anything from blocks, straps, bolsters, blankets, anything that helps your practice feel more comfortable and accessible. So with that said, I'll meet you on the mat. I'm going to start in the chair today, and we will get started with our warm-up. Okay, so I do have my chair here. I'm going to find a nice comfortable seat. If you are practicing on the mat, go ahead. Any comfortable seated position is great. You can sit cross-legged or easy seated pose, lotus or half lotus. Maybe even you want to start on your back or child's pose, whatever feels best. I'll just start in the chair for today. And I'm gonna make sure my feet are nice and grounded. If you are practicing with a block, here's where it might be nice to put a block under the feet just to help elevate the floor and give you a nicer, comfortable seat. If you have a back to your chair, you can use it to rest. We just don't want to, slump in our chair. We still want to find a little bit of energy and length through the spine. Hands can rest wherever they feel comfortable, on the lap with palms turned down or up, hands on belly and heart center, if you're seated or lying down, or just down by your side, whatever feels best. And again, finally, if it's comfortable for you, you can close eyes. If not, maybe just turning the gaze down, find something nice and still to rest the gaze on. Take a few deep breaths. You can inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, let it go. We just want to spend a few breaths kind of landing here and letting go of the past and letting go of the future, and just trying to really concentrate on how we're feeling in this moment in time in our body and breath. And there's no right or wrong answer. So if you find that when you're taking your big inhale, you're trying to get some breath, that's okay. We're going to work on that. We're going to work on opening up and trying to find those nice, deep, smooth breaths. So whatever breath pattern you have now, just notice it and appreciate it. Notice how fast or slow your breath is, how deep or shallow. And again, there's no right or wrong. We're just trying to get present in our breath and body. So we want to just take note of how we're feeling. Notice in your physical body, where do you feel the breath entering and exiting the body? Is it starting way at the bottom of the feet, or is it starting a little higher up in the chest? And if setting an intention for your practice is something you like to do, go ahead and take these next quiet moments to do that. An intention can be anything as simple as I am here, or I am strong, or today I'm going to take it a bit easy, depending on where you are in your practice and where you are really in this moment in time as well. Take a few more breaths, maybe repeating that intention, that little mantra or motto to yourself. And if you ever feel like you've sort of lost that sense of presence, you're thinking about the dishes or the dinner, and you need to come back to that motto. I'm here, I am present, I am grounded, I am taking it easy, and just tune back into the breath. A couple of tools to help us stay present. So they're there for us to use. We want to make sure we do use them. When you feel ready, if the eyes are closed, maybe just blinking the eyes open. We'll take a few breaths here. bringing a bit of movement into the breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, press the arms down, moving nice and slow, really feeling the work in the arms as if you're moving through some, well, everyone likes to say molasses or honey. I have a young daughter who makes slime, so maybe I'm picturing moving through that slime, which I'm all too familiar with. All right, let's do one more here. Inhale, let's start with our twist. This time as we exhale, let's just twist over to one side. If I'm twisting towards my left, my right arm's going to come across. Find maybe the outside of the left knee, and depending on what sort of chair you have or whether you're on the floor, you might want to press into the floor for some support here, or find the back of the chair. We want to stay nice and even through the hips though, and just guide gently into this twist. So I often talk about using the core to find the twist. That's true. We do want to twist from the core and the chest. But on our warm up here, maybe we can just use our body and our chair and our floor to help guide us. We're not going to yank ourselves. Oops, I just hit the door behind me. We don't want to yank ourselves, but just help sort of guide it. See how that feels. Take a breath here. Find some length in the spine. And then exhale, come around to the front. Good, let's go to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, let's twist over to the other side. So rooting down through the sit bones. This time left arm comes across, finds the outside of our leg maybe. And again, depending on our apparatus, pressing into the floor for length, finding the chair to help guide the twist a little deeper, maybe looking over the back shoulder. Inhale here, find length in the spine, sitting up nice and tall. And then exhale, come around to the front. Good, let's move through that with our breath a little bit. Inhale to reach up, exhale, twist. Inhale through center, exhale, twist. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Good, let's inhale through center. This time we'll just draw the hands through heart center and reset our sit bones, find that center. Now if you're lying down, maybe you want to start to make your way up to seated, or maybe even cat-cow. We're going to do, or standing, we're going to do a few breaths through sort of a forward fold, half and full forward fold. So in the chair, it can look just like how we are. We're sitting in our chair nice and tall. I've just moved a little bit further away from the back of my chair. I don't want to find myself leaning on the back. So if I move my whole self forward a bit, then I find I'm not going to rely on that back of the chair a little bit. It's more like I'm sitting on a stool. I'm still going to root down through the feet, maybe just stepping the feet a little wider because we are going to do a forward fold. If you're standing, same thing. We're just going to come to standing. If you're standing, feet a little wider than hip distance, maybe root down through the feet, squeeze the, find energy up through the legs and sort of in the core, and then we'll find ourselves in our mountain pose. I'll join you back on the chair in a moment. We're just going to flow through a few forward folds as we inhale, and we're going to exhale and come halfway down. Now I'm going to turn sideways. I'm going to keep a nice long back as I come halfway down. Now, depending on the flexibility, we are warming up how my hamstrings are feeling. I might just come to rest my hands on my thighs, but I have a nice long back. I can maybe fold a little forward and find hands on shins. We're going to stay here. We want to make sure we're going to roll the shoulders down and back as well. Take a big inhale, find length through the spine here. So energy up through the crown of the head and the tailbone. And then exhale, let's just release it as far as we can. Inhale, come up back to that halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold again. And then this time we're going to press all the way up. So we're going to press through the feet and help guide ourselves all the way back up to standing on the inhale. Exhale, hands down to our side. So that's it from the side. So you can flow through the breath work in the chair or on the floor. Here we go. We're just sort of creating some big movements, starting to bring the energy level up and find a bit of heat and flexibility through the legs. Let's go. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, let's forward fold. So again, even in the chair, hands might come to our lap. They might come down to our shins. This is our halfway here where we're finding length. Inhale here. Exhale, then forward fold. I'm going to set my feet a little wider. Inhale, let's come back up to that halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold again. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands down to our side. Okay, let's flow through that a couple of times. Inhale, exhale, coming halfway down here. Inhale to find that length, and then exhale, forward fold. A block is nice here as well. Inhale, come up halfway, find that long spine. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up. Press through the feet, especially if you're standing. And then exhale, hands down by our side, mountain pose. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale, come on halfway down. Maybe again, you're just coming to hands on thighs, no problem. Inhale to find that length. And then exhale, see if we can round through the spine, melt down. Inhale, come up to that halfway lift again. Long spine, shoulders rolling back, belly engaged. And then exhale, forward fold. And we're going to inhale all the way back up to the top. Inhale. Exhale, hands down by our side. Awesome. Okay, if you are standing, you can stay standing. If you're seated, stay seated. Let's just add in a little bit of stretching here. So we're going to come into sort of right into a bit of a balance if you're standing, and I'll catch up with you in a minute. From the chair here, again, scooching forward if you need to find a bit of space. We're going to gently start to come into a bit of a stretch. We're going to lift our right leg, flex the toes, and cross it over our knee. So we might already feel a bit of a stretch because, again, we're just warming up. And we'll bring our hands to our thighs and just rest here. If you're standing, it might look something like this. And you might have your hands at heart center or hands on hips and coming into a standing sort of figure four. You may just be using the chair for a bit of support, hands wherever they help you find balance. And if you're standing, you may want to start to sit into the stretch a little bit more. And if you're in the chair, if you're looking for a little bit more, you might want to start to fold forward. Now again, we're still just warming up, so you might not get in as deep as sometimes you think you can. That's okay. We're going to stay here for a couple of breaths wherever you are. All right, let's come out of it. Let's take, uncross the legs. Let's do a couple of rounds of breath again. Inhale, we'll exhale, forward fold, come to that halfway. Inhale for length, exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, come up halfway again. Exhale, forward fold, and this time come all the way up to standing. Sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down, and then we'll find that figure four on the other side. So we'll lift and flex the left foot, cross it over the right knee. Again, if you're standing, go ahead and find hands at heart center or on hips, using anything you need for support. And then maybe sitting down into a squat if you're standing, or leaning forward a little bit, stretch out that outer hip just a little bit for a couple of breaths. All right, let's come on up, uncross the leg. Let's do one more round of breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, come on halfway down. Inhale to find that length. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale. And then inhale all the way up to standing or seated. Exhale, hands down by our side. Awesome. Roll the shoulders. Good. If you're standing, you can just maybe step the feet wide, shake it out a little bit. Okay, so now let's sit back in a chair. So if you're standing, you're going to be coming to mountain pose, feet about hip width, and we're going to start to sit back as if we're sitting in a chair. I'll come to the chair in a second. Hands can be at our heart center or on our hips, and we're going to start to see if we can find that imaginary chair behind us, keeping knees over ankles as much as we can. We'll come down into a chair. We want to pull the belly in. Hands can be on our hips, our heart center. They can be reaching forward if that helps counterbalance. That might allow us to send the hips back a little further. If we're feeling extra super strong, arms can come up alongside our shoulders. Alongside our ears. So finding our chair here. And then if you're in the chair, option is to find that core engagement, lean forward with a nice tall spine. Same thing, arms might come forward, or maybe they come and reach alongside our ears. So you can already feel strength building, even if you're using the chair as a bit of support. There's still a lot of work. We want to make sure that the arms are nice and strong in whatever form they're in. Another option might be to have them in cactus. So you're looking to help counterbalance. Okay, let's stay for another breath. I know some of us have been in this pose for quite a while. Awesome. If you're standing, come on up out of that chair, shake it out. All right, let's sit back down into our chair, wherever we were. Awesome. Stay for a few breaths. And then let's start to draw the hands towards our heart center. We're going to find a twist. Now you can stay nice and lifted in your twist and just twist through the core. So that's what I was talking about, using the core to find that twist. Hands, the reason we're bringing our hands here is to help us get a sense of where we're twisting from. So with our hands glued to our heart space, like right at the sternum here, if we're not twisting from the core, it might look like this. Well, that's not a twist. That's just us pulling our arms over to the side. So you imagine they're glued, and then we're going to twist through the core. See, my hands are still glued to my core. So it might help to step the feet. Take a break. If you're standing, take a break, shake it up, and then we'll come back into our chair pose. Okay. All right, so whether we're seated in the chair or standing, let's come back into chair pose here. I'll do this from the beginning. Let's bring the feet a little closer together this time as we sit our hips back. So again, you're imagining you're sitting back in the chair, chest is lifted, belly's pulled in. Let's bring those hands to our sternum. So again, we don't want to lead with the arms, we want to lead with the core. So what we also want to do is kind of squeeze the legs together and make sure the knees stay centered. We don't want one to come flying back. So lots of work in this twist. So let's find it. Here we go. Hands glued, twist over to one side. Now, if you're super warmed up, you might be able to really sink into your chair and hook that left elbow over the right knee. Then you want to really press into these prayer hands to guide the chest forward. Now, you might not be ready for that yet. We're going to do a couple rounds, no problem. Stay nice and high. Stay for another breath. Stay for one more breath. All right, let's come out of the chair. Let's inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, forward fold, come halfway down. Inhale, find that length. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way back up to standing. And then exhale, hands down by our side. Okay, if your feet were stepped wide, step them back in. Let's find that twist on the other side. Again, you might be sitting in your chair. We'll all bring our hands to our heart center here. Glue them to the sternum so that we're not leading with the hands, we're leading with the core. All right, let's sit back in that chair. Awesome, find that chair, pull the belly in. So again, we want to make sure we're not sort of swaying in the back here. Find that strength in the belly. It doesn't matter whether you're sitting or standing, chest is high. And we'll take a big inhale here and then twist over to the opposite side. Let's check in with our knees. If one hip or knee is shooting back, draw it forward. Try to keep these knees aligned as we twist through the core. And again, if you're feeling ready and warm enough for this round, go ahead and sink lower. Find that hook over the knee. Press into the prayer hands. Find the twist. Might be a little much for this first round. All right, stay for 2 more breaths. And then we'll come around to center. Let's inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. I need to step my feet a little wider here. I feel unbalanced. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way back up to standing. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. Good, shake it out. All right, so we're gonna do that again. We're gonna do another round. And this time, maybe if we're feeling a little warmer, I know I am, we might be able to sink in a little deeper. But if you're looking to get the twist a little deeper, but you're not feeling it standing, I just want to show an option. The chair option stays the same. You're still in your chair, sitting up nice and tall, twisting, and then maybe finding the hook over the knee. An option might be on the ground though. If you're not using a chair, but you want to try the twist, is to come into a lunge, and then we can find our twist from here and find that hook over the knee. So I'll demonstrate it this way. So again, just to recap, our options are in the chair, standing like we just did, but sinking a little deeper, or coming into this lunge option if you want to practice the twist without sort of the balance and the strength and the standing that is involved in the standing option. So, all right. From wherever you're taking this twist, I'll come into my left leg, stepping forward to begin with here, just so you can see the twist from this side. I'm going to pull my belly in, no different here, hands connected to my sternum, and I might just send the hips a little forward, but my chest is still lifted, belly's still nice and tight. Inhale here, so whether we're standing or seated in our chair, let's take our twist. So maybe we're staying nice and high, maybe we're leaning a little more forward and finding that connection of elbow to knee and then pressing into the prayer hands. And then we still need to check in with those hips. So make sure that the knees are level and parallel to each other. Make sure we're pressing into that prayer hand so that it's not just, again, leading with the arms. We're leading with the core and opening up the chest to the front of the room by pressing into the hands here. You'll feel that. As soon as you press, you start to twist more. Super intense. Lower the hips. If you're in this one, stay strong wherever you are. Stay for another breath. And on the next exhale, let's lift up, come around to center, and take a break. So I'm on the floor here. I might come to cat-cow, and just, instead of wiggling it out standing or seated, just go through a couple rounds of cat-cow, and then we'll switch sides. All right, so if you're on the floor with me, we're gonna step the opposite foot through. We're going to engage the core, send the hips forward, and then we can all bring our hands to our sternum. Again, whether you're seated in the chair or standing, here we go. Glue those hands to the sternum. Take a big inhale and twist from the core, either staying upright or twisting a little deeper, hooking that elbow. Here it is from the back. And then pressing into those prayer hands, finding that deep twist. Sink the hips a little lower. Press into the prayer hands. Stay for 2 breaths. On the next exhale, let's come around to center. Good. And then come on up to standing if you're standing, seated if you're seated, or maybe cat-cow if you're on the floor here with me. All right, if you're standing, find mountain pose. If you're on the floor, find child's pose. If you're on the chair, fold forward into child's pose. Take a breath here. All right, let's come out of child's pose. So I want to introduce another twist, and again, there are chair options, floor options, and standing options, and it's a bit of a twisted, exalted warrior. So I'm going to demonstrate all 3 here. Wherever you are, just either find a couple of breaths, like I said at the beginning, while you wait for the option you're looking for, the demo, or come into a comfortable seat, have a look up at the screen, and we'll see where you want to be for this next one. So the pose is going to be from mountain pose. If you're standing, we're going to step back and come into a reverse warrior. So we're just going to step through warrior 1. So we're going to step our feet back, lift the arms up, and then instead of reaching same arm back to same leg, we're going to twist and reach opposite hand to the back leg. Now, from our warrior one, that might feel a little uncomfortable on the foot. If it does, lift up onto the toes and square the hips off. So this is going to be our twisted exalted warrior. So we're feeling an opening down the opposite side, a twist through the core as we reach back for opposite leg. So if we're in the chair, we will turn sideways, step our foot back, here we go, and it's the same thing here. So we're being supported by the chair, twisting through the core, and then one final option, of course, is if we are on the floor, I'm doing the opposite leg demo here. We're going to come into that lunge we were just in, and we will reach up and reach back to the opposite leg. So it's not same arm, same leg, it's opposite arm, opposite leg to create that twist that we're looking for. Ooh, lots of options. So wherever you are, we're either in the chair, standing, or in our lunge. I'm going to demo in the chair, or I'm going to come into the chair pose for the first option. So turning to the side, let's step one foot back. In the chair, it might feel a little nicer to keep the toes, to stay up on the toes, but we all want to engage through the core, tilt those hips, try to line the hips up to the ribs. We'll reach our arms up. And then remember, not same arm, same leg, opposite arm, twist back, reach back as far as we can, reach up and find that twist through the core. Stay for 3 rounds of breath. One more round, inhale, exhale, and then let's inhale, come up through center, untwist, awesome. Okay, and we'll step the feet back, take a round of breath if we need to. Inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, forward fold halfway, inhale to find that length again, exhale all the way down, inhale to that halfway lift. One more time, exhale, forward fold. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, mountain pose. So for the opposite side, if you're in the chair, we'll turn the opposite way, step the opposite foot back. Same thing if we're standing from our mountain pose, we'll step the opposite foot back, either coming into warrior one or high lunge. And if you're using the floor, same thing. All right, I'm going to stay here since I'm here now. We know our options. Let's engage through the core, tilt the pelvis up, reach up. And remember, it's not same arm, same leg. It's opposite arm to back leg. Find that twist, reach up. If this arm is too much, you can always bring it down. You could reach it forward. We just want to make sure we are stable in the hips and finding that twist. Stay for 3 breaths. And when you finish your 3rd round of breath, inhale, let's come through center. Awesome, let's find child's pose or mountain pose or flow through breath work. Wherever you are, take a break. Lift the forehead and we'll come on up. Okay. Awesome, we've done lots of twisting. Let's add one more sort of balance twist element, bring it all together here. So we're gonna come back to that chair pose where we have our figure 4 pose, where we have one leg lifted. And we're gonna see if we can add a twist. Now that we're a little more warm, we've done a bunch of twisting. We've tried to get our elbow over our knee in our 2-legged chair pose. Let's see if we can do it in our figure 4. But you can choose any of the options or skip all of them and just be in child's pose. You could add a balance element if you are standing. Okay, so let's come into mountain pose. Sitting tall on our chair, standing tall on our mat. Take a breath. Let's just bring it down. Find our focus. Come back to our motto, our mantra. Remember, the mantra might be, I'm taking it easy on myself today, and I'm going to skip out on this last option altogether. And that's okay, that's perfect, that's yoga. if we want to come in and try this twisted figure 4 balancing chair pose, let's give it a go. So let's start with crossing, lifting our right foot, flexing and crossing it over left knee. I'm just using the chair here a little bit for balance. You can come into hands at heart center or on hips. We're going to start to sink our hips back, focusing on balance and keeping the hips nice and even. And then maybe we're going to see if we can twist over to this knee. I don't know if I can do it standing. If we can, let's see if we can find a twisty balance figure 4. I can't do it standing. I'm going to do it in my chair. Awesome. And if none of these are working for you, again, opting out or taking one of the variations we just tried. All right, this is just adding an intensity to that outside hip stretch. Stay for a couple breaths. Flex that right foot. And on the next exhale, let's lift up, come around to center. Let's take a wide leg forward fold. So uncross the legs, step the legs wide, whether you're seated or whether you're standing. Take a big inhale here, exhale. Let's forward fold. I'm sitting back down in my chair. Forward fold here. Let it go. Shake it out. Now from this forward fold, whether you're standing or seated, we're going to add a little twist as well. So let's plant the left hand down and keep the right hand reaching up. So keep the hips even, twist and open here. If you're standing, it might look like this. Doesn't look much different if you're seated or standing. We're just finding a little opening and twist here. All right, let's lower that right hand. Let's switch sides, plant the right hand down, press as the left hand reaches up and open. Again, if you're standing, it might look like this. You might have a block under your hand here to bring the floor up to you. And then check in with the hips. Make sure they're nice and even. It's a little easier when you're in the chair to keep the hips even because you're seated on them, so they're sort of glued to the chair. When you're standing, they tend to sway over to one side. So draw them back, stay for a breath. And then lower that left hand down. Good. Let's come out of this by engaging through the core, bringing the hands to the hips and coming all the way up to standing. Okay, let's try that on the other side. So if you're standing, we're going to lift and flex the left foot, cross it over right knee. And if we're in the chair, same thing. But remember, you have all the other options from before. You can even be in that nice low lunge from before if you like that one. From here, let's bring our hands to heart center, glue them to that sternum. Take an inhale here and twist. And then if we're going to try and hook that elbow or elbow over knee, let's give it a try. It might feel different on this side. It feels very different for me and almost a little inaccessible. So let's listen to our bodies. If you can get there, hook that elbow, press into those prayer hands, find that deep twist, find that outer hip stretch. If it's too much, stay lifted, keep those hands glued. Stay for a couple of breaths. Flex that left foot. And when you're ready, let's come on out. Awesome. All right, let's unravel everything. Take a few breaths. If you're standing, just shake it out. And then let's just try and center everything. So if you're standing, let's just flow through a few breaths and we'll get back down to the floor, and we're going to make our way down to the floor actually. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. If you're in the chair, same thing. Inhale to find length. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, find that length again. Exhale, forward fold all the way down and start to make your way down to the floor. If you're in the chair, let's just sit up nice and tall. All right, let's just recenter everything. So sitting up nice and tall on the mat or in the chair, we've been doing a lot of twisting, a lot of balancing. Let's just bring everything back to center. If you have rolled down and you're already on your back, just draw the knees in towards the chest, rock side to side. If you're in the chair, you can do one leg at a time. So draw one leg up on the inhale. Exhale, you can round forward. Inhale to release. Good. Exhale. Inhale, draw the opposite knee in. Exhale, round forward. Inhale to release. So you can continue to switch sides if you're in the chair, if you're on the floor. You can switch sides as well, doing one leg at a time or just rocking side to side. Good. Awesome. Just trying to sort of center everything again after all that twisting. If you are wanting a supine spinal twist on the floor, I get it, go for it. If not, let's start to wind down, settle into our chair or our floor. Take any final breaths, any final check-ins, and we'll make our way to our Shavasana. In the chair, for Shavasana, just getting nice and comfortable. Again, we don't want to like lean too far in and get sloppy, but it's okay to use the chair for a bit of support here. Hands resting on our thighs, palms turned up or turned down. So turning the palms up will invite energy. Turning them down will sort of calm the energy. So if you found that you are looking to sort of bring the energy down for Shavasana after all that twisting and balancing, go ahead and turn the palms down. If you're lying down on your back, hands can come onto belly or heart center or just down by the sides of your body. And if it's comfortable, we can close our eyes here. Start to scan our bodies and just notice if there are any areas we're still holding on to any tension. And if we are, maybe just breathing a little loving kindness that way. Try to let it go. Shavasana is the time for our bodies to relax and unwind. It's a time for integration and rest. And know that rest is different from sleep and that we need both every day. And we should never pass up an opportunity to just rest and do nothing. And part of the beauty of practicing through a video, a lens, is that you can let the video play out and stay in Shavasana as long as your body wants or needs. And if you're ready to get on with your day or evening, you can maybe start to wiggle through fingers and toes, circle wrists and ankles. Maybe you want to stretch long along your mat or in your chair, or curl into a little ball one last time, just before making your way up to a comfortable seated position where we can once again find an easy seated pose, come into crisscross legs, or maybe you're feeling open through the hips and you want to try lotus or half lotus for your final few moments of your yoga practice. And from here, let's all take a breath together. We can inhale, sweep our hands up overhead. Let's exhale and draw all that air through heart center. Hands can rest in prayer or over heart center or all the way back down to our lap, wherever you feel comfortable. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through this challenging, balancy, twisty yoga practice. Thank you for allowing me into your personal private yoga spaces. It's truly an honor to be here. And until we have a chance to practice together again, take care. Thanks, everybody. Woo! That was exactly what the doctor ordered for my body. I hope it was for yours as well. I hope you took the options that felt best for you and that you honored your mantra that you set for yourself at the beginning of class, whether that was to challenge yourself or to listen and take it down a notch for yourself or somewhere in between. Have a great week. We'll see you here again next week. Bye-bye.